All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for Students, sponsored by the Ohio Association for College Admissions Counseling and Strive Scan. Again, thank you for joining us. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenter at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so no need to worry about that. The panelists cannot see or hear you. As a reminder, this is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at oacac.org. The presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at that same website, oacac.org. I'd like to now go ahead and turn things over to our presenter, Amy from DePaul.
Thanks, Sarah, and thanks, of course, Strive Scan and OACAC for hosting this event today. And of course, welcome to all of you who are tuning in to our presentation. I'm going to go ahead and just get my presentation up here for all of you, but I do really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to learn a little bit more about DePaul. Before I get started, just wanting to introduce myself. My name is Amy Christensen. I am the admission representative from DePaul for students in the great state of Ohio. I actually myself used to live in Ohio when I was young, so it's always nice to connect with my fellow Ohioans again. I've been with DePaul for 3 years now, and please do reach out to me after this with any questions you may have. To go ahead and get started with just some DePaul history, just some DePaul good knowledge to know. We are actually the largest Catholic university in the nation with 23,000 total students. At the undergraduate level, so first year freshmen through seniors, we actually have around 14,000 students at the university, but certainly there's a lot of people studying at DePaul. The cool thing though about DePaul is while there are so many students at our university and we're in the third largest city in the US, Chicago, it's going to feel a lot more personal. It's going to feel like a smaller school when you're on our campuses and when you're in your classes. Our average class size at the university is about 25 students, even in those majors like biology and psychology, which often have those bigger lecture halls. So that personalism is something that's really important at DePaul, and that plays into our university mission of teaching and of service. The history portion. DePaul was founded in 1898. In 1898, DePaul had 78 students. Again, 23,000 students at DePaul now, so we've certainly grown a lot over the years. When DePaul was founded, we were founded by a group of people known as Vincentians, who were people back in the 17th century who followed by someone by the name of Saint Vincent de Paul. St. Vincent de Paul should sound somewhat familiar because we are DePaul University, and that's of course our namesake. Vincentians and St. Vincent were people who dedicated their life to service, to walking with other people on their life journeys, and they were Catholic priests, which is again where our Catholic history and Catholic mission comes from. Now at DePaul, around 39% of our students identify as Catholic, and there are over 30 faith traditions on campus. So you don't have to be Catholic to study at DePaul, but if you are, you want to dive into your Catholic faith while you're at the university, we have, of course, resources for you. And again, resources for students of no faith and of a different faith as well at DePaul. Now, in terms of what's important to know about DePaul University as students who are going through the application and the search process for college are the three words you see here. These are the three most essential things to a DePaul experience. So our education, our environment, and our ethos. The rest of the presentation will kind of cover each of these three topics. Our education, what can you study at DePaul? What majors and minors and courses can you take? Our environment, we're in, again, the city of Chicago, the third largest city in the US. That plays a role in the DePaul experience. And then finally, our ethos, that Catholic mission that infuses itself in our environment and in our education at DePaul. What I'd encourage you to do as you go throughout the rest of this presentation, but also the rest of your college search process is to consider what the 3 most or 2 most or 5 most essential things are for you in the college that you want to attend, right? Is it that they have the major you want to be a part of? Is it that they're located in a specific place? Is it that the school has student organizations you're interested in, a mission that you are passionate about? Consider what it means for you, and if it matches up with DePaul, awesome, we're here. Now, where do the 23,000 students at DePaul fall and live, right? It's in one of these 10 schools and colleges that we have at the university. What I'll do for now is go over each of these schools and colleges a little bit to give you a better idea of what sort of programs are within these colleges and schools. I'd also encourage you, of course, to reach out to me at a later time if you have specific questions about a particular program at DePaul, or of course use our website as a resource to you. There's a whole lot of information on there if you want more info about specific programs. But for now, I'm going to start with the first 3 colleges we see on the screen here. So our Dry House College of Business, our College of Communication, and our College of Computing and Digital Media. The reason I group those 3 together is because DePaul itself has 2 campuses in the city of Chicago. There is one campus called the Loop campus and another campus called the Lincoln Park campus. I'm going to talk about those on a later slide, but the College of Business, Communication, and Computing and Digital Media are located at the Loop campus in Chicago. So if you were to major in something within one of those colleges or minor in something within one of those colleges, those courses will happen at the Loop campus, okay? Now the College of Business at DePaul is actually going to be our largest college at the university. This is where you're going to find programs in accountancy, marketing, real estate, hospitality management, to name a few. The great thing about the College of Business at DePaul is it's going to be steps away from lots and lots of different businesses and organizations in the city of Chicago. And we're going to have, of course, professors that are also currently working at some of those businesses who will be teaching classes at the university to really offer you an unparalleled business experience. As a part of the College of Business, you'll have to do an internship as well, and Chicago is a great place to do one of those. It's very common for our students to do 1, 2, maybe 3 internships while they're a student in our College of Business. The other benefit to this college is you'll be taking business core classes as a part of any of the programs. Meaning if you study accountancy, you won't only take accountancy courses, you'll also take a marketing course, a finance course, to learn more about what business means as a whole. Now the College of Communication, again, also housed at the Loop campus. This is where you're going to find programs like journalism, public relations and advertising, media and cinema studies, sports communication. And the good thing about studying communication in the city of Chicago is, again, the city of Chicago is a huge media city, right? You're steps away from many different media organizations. And again, our professors are really well connected with those organizations to offer you real hands-on experience in communication fields while you're a student at DePaul. The College of Computing and Digital Media is the fastest growing college at DePaul. Probably not a huge surprise, especially right now as we're doing this presentation online, right? Our world has turned fully online right now, right? And this is where you're going to find programs in computer science, cybersecurity. Our largest program here is actually film and television. We partner with CineSpace, which is a film lot in the city of Chicago, actually the 2nd largest film lot in the United States, right outside of Hollywood. And we have courses that happen at this real film lot, and students intern at different shows and films that are produced there. So again, that real hands-on experience is something that we think is really important. And you can certainly find that in all of these colleges and schools while at DePaul. Now, the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences is a college every single student at DePaul will take courses in, because even if you study, say, film and television or journalism or business, you'll still have to take general education courses, what we call liberal studies courses, while you're at DePaul. So that means you'll take a history class or a sociology class, maybe, right? Wide range coursework as a part of that program. It won't take up a ton of your time at DePaul, but it's certainly going to take up some of your time because we think it's important that we educate you holistically. That way you understand how people of a wide variety of different disciplines think about and view the world. So keep that in mind, that that'll be a part of your program at DePaul, even if you're not studying within the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences for your major. But within that college, what majors exist? We have writing and rhetoric, if you're interested in writing. We have applied diplomacy, if you're at all interested in learning how to communicate with a wide range of different people, right? We have philosophy, sociology, the liberal arts and social sciences, right, housed within that college. Now, the College of Science and Health is gonna be where you're gonna find programs like biology, health sciences, neuroscience, psychology is housed within the College of Science and Health. We have pre-health programs if you're interested in going on to med school one day. The cool thing about our College of Science and Health that maybe sets it apart from other science and health colleges out there is that we are going to have undergraduate research opportunities for you, because the College of Science and Health at DePaul is primarily undergraduate student heavy, meaning the majority of students are between freshman and senior status. They're not necessarily grad students. We certainly have some, but the benefit there is that you'll get that opportunity to do research with your professors while at DePaul. We also have a partnership with Rosalind Franklin, Medical School in the city of Chicago, where there's some early opportunity programs for you to apply to med school at Rosalind Franklin, while you're an undergraduate student at DePaul. So keep that in mind as well. Now, our College of Education probably speaks for itself, but that's where we're educating our future educators. I'm currently actually a grad student in the College of Ed, so it's a school that I like particularly. But this is where you're gonna find programs in special education, secondary education, middle grades, special education, middle grades, and early childhood. We also have an exercise science program within this college. You will as well get that real world experience of actually teaching while you are learning how to teach. And our education also has a primary focus on urban education. So if you want more information about the College of Ed, definitely let me know. Now, the theater school and School of Music are conservatory style programs at DePaul, meaning they're going to be really focused, right, in the art of theater and the art of music. You will still, though, take those liberal studies courses while you're studying, say, acting in the theater school, maybe stage management, or maybe you're studying music education or jazz studies in a school of music. So keep in mind that the conservatory style programs do mean that they have a little bit of a different application process than the rest of DePaul, but those are really awesome programs, and studying theater and music in the city of Chicago is a really great experience too. Now, the School for New Learning is for adult undergraduate students. So someone over the age of 24 who wants to come back to get a bachelor's degree. They have really flexible hours for those students where you could be working full time and taking your coursework in the evening or primarily online. College of Law is, of course, where we're educating our future lawyers. As a part of the College of Law and considered an honors program at the university, we have a 3+3 program. If you apply to a specific undergraduate major at DePaul, you'll be automatically considered for this when you apply, and you'll be notified if you've been selected to apply for it at the point of admission. And so that program allows you to graduate within 6 years from DePaul's law school and DePaul with both a bachelor's degree and a law degree from the university. The most important thing I want you to know here is you don't have to know your major when you're applying to DePaul. You can apply as undecided, undeclared in a specific college. You can apply for a specific program and then change your mind, with the exception being the theater school and the School of Music. You would have to know when you're applying if you're applying for acting, stage management, music education, etc. But other than that, you are welcome to double major and minor across colleges and schools while you're at DePaul. It's a very flexible policy. You don't have to declare a major, again, with the exception of the theater school and the School of Music, until the end of your sophomore year. Again, I'm happy to answer questions about this after I finish the presentation, but hopefully that was a good kind of overview of where our DePaul students fall. Now, an important thing about DePaul is we're on the quarter system. The quarter system is going to be 10 weeks long instead of 15 to 16 weeks, like a semester-based system. The quarter system at DePaul does not include that June to August quarter you see here. So you don't have to take classes in the summertime at DePaul unless you want to. So a full academic year at DePaul, your full first year at the university, will include fall, winter, and spring quarter. So fall quarter runs September through November, right up until Thanksgiving. Winter quarter starts in January, so you'll notice December is not on the screen here because we actually have a 6-week-long winter break. So winter quarter starts after the new year, and you'll go until March when you'll have a traditional week-long spring break. And then you'll come back after spring break and you'll start spring quarter, and that goes until June. So a full academic year is September until June. Typically on the quarter system, you'll take 4 classes a quarter. They're going to be, again, 10 weeks long. Your 11th week will be final exams. And the quarter system does allow a little bit more flexibility. If you have a wide range of interests, you want to double major, have a couple of minors, just take courses outside of your major. And typically on the quarter system, you'll take 2 more classes a year than you would if you were on a semester-based system. Again, I'm happy to connect you with any DePaul students if you want to ask a little bit more about what it's like to study on the quarter system. But my experience in grad school has been, if you don't like a class, you're out of it a little bit faster than you are in a semester system. And it does offer you the opportunity to take a lot of coursework, okay? Now the 2-campus structure. We have both a Loop campus and a Lincoln Park campus in the city of Chicago. And I'm sorry if you hear some noises. There's some people doing some things outside right now. But the Loop campus is where our College of Business, our College of Communication, and our College of Computing and Digital Media are located. So again, if you major or minor or take a course in one of those 3 colleges, those will be happening at the Loop, which is the business district of the city of Chicago. The Loop campus is going to be a vertical campus. So you're going to be going up to class, typically, then wandering around outside. The Lincoln Park campus, as you can kind of see on the picture here and in my virtual background, is going to be more of a neighborhood feel. There's going to be smaller buildings, lots of trees, lots of green space, but it's still going to feel pretty urban. Most of our students at DePaul are going to be living up, though, in our Lincoln Park campus. We have 12 residence halls at DePaul, 11 of which are in Lincoln Park. 1 is downtown at the Loop. You can live downtown at the Loop as a first-year student at DePaul, and you can live down there no matter what you're majoring in. The unique thing, though, about housing at DePaul's campus is it's not going to be required of you, even in your first year. It will be guaranteed for you as a first-year student at the university, but again, it is not a requirement. I myself have worked with students from Ohio who have decided to find an apartment in their first year at DePaul, and it is very common for students at DePaul to choose to move off campus as an upper-class student at the university. If you're curious about housing, you can check out our housing website. There is 3D tours of all our residence halls and communities at DePaul, so you can see a little bit more about what they look like. But most are going to be suite style for our first year students. So that would be you, a roommate, a bathroom, and on the other side of the bathroom, another person in their roommate. They are all up to date. They have nice windows. That's something I always like to say. I'm a big person for natural light. So check out a housing website if you do have questions. But the city of Chicago itself is going to be a big part of your DePaul experience. We do give you what's called a U-Pass, which is your ticket to the trains and buses in the city of Chicago. And that's how students get in between the 2 campuses. So the train that you see on the screen here is the red line, and that is the L, is what people in Chicago would call it. It's about a 20-minute ride between the 2 campuses. So you'll hop on up in Lincoln Park and hop off at the Loop. I like to say, instead of walking around campus for 20 minutes, you get to be transported. So it's kind of fun. It's a unique part of a DePaul experience, a city experience, right? But keep in mind, again, Chicago is a big deal at DePaul. You're going to be out in the city learning while you're a DePaul student about different communities, different cultures, and you'll be out in those businesses as well, okay? In terms of great things the city of Chicago has to offer you, they are, of course, some of the things that are represented on this screen here, right? Theater, food, the lake is my favorite part of the city. Lake Michigan is right here, right? We have great art museums, parks, professional sports teams. There's 7 in the city of Chicago itself, right? And all of these different businesses, organizations, right? They offer student discounts and student tickets, which, believe me, you're gonna miss when you do graduate from college in the city. The other thing I want to mention here, as an out-of-state student, right, you're from Ohio, maybe considering going to school in Chicago, something that DePaul specifically will do for you and all first-year students at our university is what's called Discover and Explore Chicago. This is a course about the city of Chicago. You'll take it in your first fall quarter at the university, so it's one of your 4 classes, And you can take it in a wide range of different topics. So you can take it in like photography in the city, nonprofits in the city, social justice, because that's something a lot of our students and us as a university are really passionate about. There's a class about Chicago at night, the Chicago Cubs, right? It's a way for you to get integrated into the city. And the cool thing about that course is it's the first class you'll pick as a DePaul student. You actually get to pick it typically in your senior year of high school once you've decided you're coming to DePaul. And the great thing about that is you're picking it, and the other students are picking that class because they're interested in it. So it's already a way for you to kind of bring down DePaul to a smaller number of people who are interested in the similar topics. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's going to be a part of your first year program while you're at DePaul. Outside of like academics, you want to make sure probably the college you go to has other things you want to be involved in, right? While I mentioned Chicago is a big part of our students' lives while at DePaul, so is student life at the university. So we have over 350 clubs and organizations. They range from things like club soccer and club basketball to beekeeping to service organizations to a cappella groups, right? There's going to be a lot of different options. And if you didn't see something represented that you wanted to see, you have the ability to start your own. Service, again, really big at DePaul. We have service-based organizations. We have service opportunities for students as well, service trips, lots of different ways for you to get involved in our Chicago community and our wider global community as well. Campus recreation, we have a Raymeyer Fitness Center on campus. It's 4 stories. It's actually the top brick building you see on the screen here. There's a swimming pool, racquetball courts, a track on the very top floor with a great view of the city of Chicago. You get free membership there as a DePaul student. DePaul is also Division I. We are the DePaul Blue Demons. You will get free tickets to those games as well while you're a student at DePaul. And then I mentioned the School of Music and the Theater School are conservatory style programs at the university. Those run as kind of their own businesses. They put on the students the whole production, right? So go support them if you do become a DePaul Blue Demon. And if you ever do get a chance to visit DePaul, you could maybe stop by in a post-COVID world for a nice treat within the music school and the theater school. If again, you have questions about student life at DePaul, you want to meet someone involved in one of these organizations, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can send me an email and I'm happy to connect you with students at the university for that student perspective. Now for that ethos portion of our sort of discussion here, this is kind of what the Catholic piece looks like for the average student at DePaul. I mentioned not everyone at DePaul is Catholic, not everyone at DePaul identifies with a faith tradition. But what the Catholic piece looks like for the average student is the 4 words that you see here. So community, reflection, service, and celebration. DePaul itself has lots of student support services at the university, from extra tutoring assistance to university counseling to different cultural and resource centers at DePaul. We have an LGBTQA center on campus, a Black student union. We have a women's center at DePaul. Lots of different places for you to, again, get support, build community, and learn from your fellow students. The main part of the Catholic mission that you're going to maybe feel as a DePaul student is that idea of giving back, of spending a little bit of time in reflection personally in terms of what you're interested in and how you can impact communities, and also out there actually acting, right? Actually giving back to the Chicago community. DePaul itself actually has a food pantry and a soup kitchen you can volunteer at as a student at DePaul. So keep in mind, again, that's something that's really important at DePaul and you're definitely gonna be encouraged to do while you're a student. We do find most of our students are really passionate about that, so keep that in mind. Now, if any of this sounds interesting, I'll talk a little bit about how you can apply to the university. So DePaul itself is on the Common Application. The Common Application, if you don't know, is an application that you can use to apply to, I think it's over 800 colleges and universities worldwide, DePaul being one of them. So you'll send that into us. We don't have an application fee, so it's free to send the Common App to us. And then in addition to that, what we'll need is a high school transcript, an official one, meaning it comes from your high school directly, which will include grades from your first year, your freshman year, through your junior year while at DePaul. Well, at your high school, So send that on in. In addition to that, we don't necessarily need anything else. So DePaul is a test optional institution. We don't have any additional essay requirements, but I would recommend you send in the Common App essay to us. It does give me, someone who would read your application, a better understanding of who you are, right? So I'm assuming you're writing it for maybe another school, so send it on to us as well. We don't require recommendation letters. We do, though, require what's called a school profile. So that'll come from your school counselor. Just gives us a better perspective of the high school you're coming from in terms of like what coursework is offered there, how many students attend there, any other relevant information about your school. But being test optional, DePaul has actually been test optional since 2012, so for a number of years now. But this year, we're going to be even more flexible with that policy. So for example, if you were to send in the common application to us today and say you're applying test optional, but then maybe you get a chance to take an ACT or SAT and you do really well on it and you want to send it to us, you can let us know and we can change you over to test applicant from test optional, and you can do it the other way as well. Apply with a test score now, and then maybe decide later on you don't really want to, up until the point when we give you an admission decision. So again, you want to send in the Common App, a high school transcript, have your counselor send it in the school profile, and then test score optional, essay optional, recommendation letters, except for the one that comes with the school profile from your counselor, are also optional. I would recommend, if you get the chance, to have maybe 2 or 3 teachers and mentors in your life send in a recommendation, because again, the essay and the recommendation letters really give us a better understanding of who you are as a student. And personally, I can say they're a little bit more fun to read than a high school transcript. Alrighty. Now, in terms of test scores, on the ACT, the mid 50% for an admitted student at DePaul, meaning the student applied with that test score and was admitted, fall between a 23 and a 28. On the SAT, typically between a 1060 and a 1260. You can, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself, self-report both the ACT and the SAT to us. And we will also super score the ACT and SAT. So if you did get a chance to take them a couple of times, you want to send them all into us, you will create a new score, the super score, based on the highest subscores from each of those tests you've taken. But the important thing to know is whether you apply with the test score or without, you are automatically considered for scholarships at DePaul. And our scholarships, our merit-based scholarships, range from $15,000 to $24,000 a year at the university, renewable up to 4 years. At the point of admission, when we say, hey, welcome to DePaul, you will know if you were awarded an academic scholarship. I would recommend applying by November 15th. That's our first deadline. You'll see there our early action program. Early action gives you highest consideration for, of course, admission, but also the scholarships while at DePaul. And if you apply by November 15th, you will hear back by December 15th. We do, though, have a regular notification program of February 1st if you want to wait until then. If you wait until then, you'll still be automatically considered for our scholarships. You'll notice the School of Music and the Theater School have different deadlines. They also have slightly different requirements, so I'd recommend checking out their websites directly to learn more about those. And again, if you want to be connected with anyone in those 2 schools, please let me know, because they do actually have a different admission counselor. It's not me. The FAFSA actually opened today, so that's what you'll need to fill out if you are interested in receiving financial aid at DePaul. If for whatever reason you can't fill out the FAFSA, we do have an institutional need form that will also look at financial need and be able to award you some grants. In terms of like, when will you know the full cost of a DePaul education? If you apply by November 15th, typically students hear back regarding their financial aid package, and if you were admitted, in like February or March of your senior year. So that's when you'll know it'll cost me this much to attend DePaul. All scholarships, all tuition information is on our website if you want a reminder of that later on. But tuition at DePaul is around $40,000 a year. Room and board at most would be about $15,000. So financial aid and scholarships can be really beneficial to students. I think that's all I want to say about applying. Again, do reach out if you have any questions. My name's Amy Christensen, again, from DePaul. But that is actually all I have in terms of a presentation for you right now. So if there are any questions, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. I'll be able to answer them now. Feel free to go ahead and put them in the chat. We did get a question here about how would I describe the type of student that attends DePaul. I always describe DePaul students as being students who are, one, rather independent because they're pretty excited about the idea of being in the third largest city in the US and of truly living in that city while they're a student. But they're also students who really are interested and truly passionate about that social justice. How can they impact their communities and the global community at DePaul, right? So I do find our students are really interested in having tough conversations, both with staff, faculty, and their peers, and are really looking for ways that they can directly impact communities out there. So again, I think a DePaul student is pretty independent and pretty excited and passionate about social justice initiatives and community service. That's a great question. Thank you for asking. Again, if there's any other questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I think perhaps other questions I often get asked, do we have study abroad programs? We do. We actually have over 80 DePaul specific study abroad programs. And given that we're on the quarter system, it's really common for DePaul students to not only study abroad once, but multiple times. We have programs that range from 10 days to a full academic year. And there is going to be extra scholarships and financial aid available to students. DePaul also has a career center at the university. This is a center that houses many staff members who are a part of career counseling. So if you at all have any questions about how to write a resume, how do I write a cover letter, we have those services available to you as a student. It's also really common for students not only to have internships in businesses in the city of Chicago, but to also work on campus. We have lots of different campus jobs available to you while you're here. So keep that in mind. If you want to work while you're a DePaul student, that's really common. Other services, we have university counseling. So if you want mental health support while at DePaul, that'll be included in tuition costs. So you can get that support. They do group counseling, and they can also refer you to places in the city as well. DePaul also, if you are someone who needs extra accommodations for learning, we have our Center for Students with Disabilities. They're really awesome and really friendly and great people. So if you had questions about that, about what your learning experience might be at DePaul, please feel free to reach out. Also, our website is a great resource to, of course, learn more about our programs, but also student life, and also you can view different visit opportunities. DePaul itself right now is kind of completely virtual, but we have a lot of great programming, again, available on our website in terms of major exploration sessions where you can hear from faculty about specific programs while at DePaul, and also student panels. We have live tours of campus to give you a better idea of what, again, Chicago looks like. And of course, we as a university draw about 40% of our students from out of state, and Chicago is actually our third largest feeder state outside of Illinois. So we do have a lot of Ohioans at DePaul too. So if you want to meet any Ohioans, again, please reach out to me, Amy Christensen at DePaul. But Sarah, that's all I have for now. So if we want to kind of close us out here, I'm ready for that.
Perfect. That sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Of course.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely. Just going to get my screen pulled up here. All right. Well, of course, thank you all again for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a quick link to a fast survey, just 4 questions. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. As a reminder, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at oacac.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording, as well as all of the other session recordings, again, at oacac.org. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.